Hi Taylor, thanks for joining us. I know you may not be able to see us, but we can see you. You're looking very handsome and glorious. Welcome.
So since it's a black screen for me, who am I talking to right now?
You're talking to, this is Boyd Hilton, I'm hosting the event. You've got, your cast members are here, standing next to me, Greg, Helen and Tiger, I'm sure you know. Say hello.
Hey Taylor!
Oh jeez, I wish I could see your faces right now. Miss you guys. This is so awkward.
Yeah, and there's an audience of top-level British journalists and TV executives.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming, everyone.
Yeah. And we've just watched the first 2 episodes of Cuckoo series, season 2, as I believe you call it over there. And my question to you is, if you can hear me, obviously you can't see me, apologies. How does a lovely young A-list Hollywood star end up in a British sitcom with loads of puking in it?
You know, it kind of just, it worked out where Rough Cut TV reached out to me and, you know, said they were going to do a second season and they wanted me to take a look at the first season. So, I mean, as soon as I watched the first season of Cuckoo, I was almost sold there because I loved the season, and it was definitely something I would be honored to be a part of. And then I got on the phone with our executive producer, Ash, and he brought me through all of the storylines and, you know, all of the characters that would be involved for the second season, and that's what really sold me. I literally, while I was on the phone with Ash, I was laughing out loud. So I knew it was going to be great.
Are you saying it was Ash Atala's innate charm and wit that persuaded you to do this series?
Are you shocked?
Yes. No. He is a legend.
Only reason I did it.
Yeah, he's a legend. And when you arrived on set, was it very different doing a British comedy? From, you know, you're known for huge Hollywood franchises and big films and dramatic roles. Doing this kind of comedy role, how did you feel about it? Were you confident you could do it?
I wouldn't say I was confident at first, but I was certainly excited to give it a shot. And I knew that I would be surrounded by people that did know what they were doing, so they would be a huge help. And I mean, that's exactly how it turned out. I couldn't have been luckier with the cast I was surrounded by, and our director, Ben Taylor, and our producer, Dan Hine, and Ash, and everyone. I mean, the team that I was surrounded with was the reason I was able to do this, for sure.
And you are actually playing Andy Samberg's son, which is quite extraordinary in a way. Did you check with him? Did you talk to him about that, the oddity of you playing his son?
You know, it's funny. I randomly ran into Andy about a week before I went to London to film, and he had heard that I was doing the show, and, you know, he was really excited about that. And I actually told him then that my character is your son in the second season. And I don't think he was aware of that yet because he was shocked. And then I kind of explained to him, you know, the storyline and how that is actually just barely possible. And
Yeah.
he thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, it just about worked, the math just worked. And how was it, so when you met your...
does work out.
It does work out. When you met your lovely co-stars singing, you know, so how, Helen and Greg, were they kind of parental to you? Did they take you under their wing?
No, they were horrible people.
Oh.
No, they absolutely did. Everyone did. And I mean, I remember doing the first table read with everyone, and I was definitely intimidated by all these funny people that, you know, they're already kind of a family, and I was the fish out of water coming into it, and they couldn't have been more welcoming, taking me in with open arms. I couldn't have asked for anything more.
And now I'm going to talk to your co-stars and ask them their first impressions of you. Helen, what was your first impression of Taylor?
Young, and sorry, I'm obviously a very shallow person, and just lovely, sweet boy.
Greg?
I was just It's very rare that you meet a body double in life. What are you laughing at, sir?
Tiger's as hunky as you are now. Can I just say that he's sitting here?
No, don't you
He's
lie
sitting
like
here wearing a kind of waistcoat without any shirt on. Basically, he's practically topless right now. I just want to make that.
He's making up
It
things.
is sexy, Taylor.
You guys are teasing me. I wish my picture worked right now.
I'm not teasing you. Tiger is, and it's heavily. Anyway, Tiger, did you bond with Taylor? Tyler and Taylor.
We did one actually. We used to kind of play this game called the ear game on set, where Taylor would try and sneak up behind me and flick my ears as many times as he could in the scene without me noticing him. And he was so good at it. He was like a ninja. I'd like feel my ear being brushed and I'd look around and he was like on the side of the room.
Taylor, regardless of how ridiculous the game is, Taylor's the most competitive man you'll ever meet.
Yes.
You look competitive. Yeah, I can tell. Do you recognise these descriptions, Taylor? Yeah. Were you that competitive?
Absolutely. We actually had a lot of games that we played on set. We were a bunch of like 5-year-old kids. I forgot about the ear game. Of course we had our hand game, which I don't even know, since they can see you, I don't even know how to describe it.
What's the hand game?
You sort of.
Do you demonstrate, Greg?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't even, you can only see the other person's
You have to
hand.
keep your feet still, and then you have to try and knock the other person.
They are demonstrating, Taylor. That's a good game. Did you get involved in that, Helen?
No, I got involved in Milky Cow.
Milky Cow!
Explain.
Oh, it's precious game that Greg made up as a child.
I didn't. My mum made it up. You have to.
Your mom made it up and you played it with your sister, right?
Yeah. Taylor made mock me about the game, but after I taught it him, I was a bit embarrassed that I taught him. It's a breath game where you have to say milky cow like this. And then when you run out of breath. I'm not saying this to press, right? When you run out of breath, you have to finish milky cow.
It takes a lot of talent.
It's the person who goes the longest is the winner.
Taylor, I have to.
Well, I want to say, when I taught Taylor it, I was so embarrassed that I taught him it because I barely knew him. And then 2 days later, I walked past his dressing room and he was practicing with his assistant.
It's true.
Taylor, I have to ask you, were you surprised at the level of swearing and vomiting and general all-round extreme behaviour that you get on the show on the BBC? Because obviously, you're used to presumably American network TV and stuff. It's not like that, is it?
Right. Yeah, I was. And I was prepared. Like, I obviously knew that you guys could get away with much more than we try to get away with here. But even so, I definitely, I was very surprised. But, that's one of the things that excited me about it is I knew that this whole show would have so many less restrictions than stuff we deal with over here in the States. And I knew that I could just go over there and be part of something, that everybody's passionate about and we get to play around with and really do whatever we want and just try and create, the best product possible.
And what was it like being in the middle of that vomiting scene? I have to ask you. That extraordinary scene at the end.
Oh, the vomiting one.
Yeah.
It was insane. I remember reading it for the first time on the page and it was ridiculous. But I just assumed when we went to film it, it would be more contained and less ridiculous, and it wasn't. It was just, it was insane. There's just, like 50 extras in this house just throwing up all over the walls, all over people. It was disgusting.
Yeah. Tyler, you had to also, let's face it, shit in the bath as well. How was that? You did that very brilliantly, I must say.
Thank you.
Did you have any qualms about doing that?
I was quite excited actually because it was so different to anything else you've ever done. Like as an actor, then you get to do a scene which is just completely unearthly. Then, or like not from this world. Then you just kind of the time passes much quicker, and they did some clever plumbing, and I
It's nice
sat in the bath with a lamb.
Tiger as an actor because he's method as well.
TV first. I've never seen that before. I haven't seen. I've seen puking. Have you seen? I've never seen shitting in the bath.
Shitting in the bath.
No. So it's a trial for that. Great. I was going to ask you about I think the relationship between all of you and Taylor's character is really. It's kind of there's a real sweetness to it. I think that's kind of slightly different to the first series. Was that exciting and interesting for you that it was slightly moved on and slightly different?
Yeah, because I think it would have been a mistake to have repeated the tension between, say, my character and him. It would have been a shame to have just repeated that. So yeah, he's more like a sort of lovable dog for me.
Yeah.
It's very much how I see Taylor in real life.
He's stroking the screen. There's a lovely where you're kind of watching him sleeping. That kind of it could have been creepy, but it's nice.
Almost sinister.
Yeah, almost sinister. Yeah. And Helen, how did you feel about the whole? I mean, you're completely obsessed with him, clearly from the start.
It's strange because I didn't realise how. Obviously, you don't know how Taylor's going to play it, and yet he is truly lovable in it and such a delightful person in real life, and that comes through. And I just think, and it grows. You kind of go, oh, that's what's happening in the scene. You become aware of it as it's happening. It's quite interesting.
And so your character, you're getting even more rude and horrible to your parents, I have to say. Does it feel like a dream role for say everything you ever wanted to say? Your parents are here, we should say. And you're a very well brought up young man, but it must be great to be able to be that horrible to your parents.
No, it's lovely because sometimes, Ben, the director, would say like, just laugh at them when that happens. But I feel sometimes that you say something to the character, you just like, ha swat! Instead of just laughing, it's sometimes to have a character that works so well for and is so acceptable for.
Yeah. Brilliant. And Taylor, I have to ask you about the dancing scene. I think dancing scenes are difficult to dance like that on camera. You did it very well. Did you practice? Are you a natural mover like that?
Certainly not. Yeah, we did. We had a choreographer on set who was definitely helpful, and we were actually filming other scenes. And when we had a break from filming those scenes, we would run back to this little random room and rehearse with the choreographer. But what's funny and ironic is most of the stuff used in the actual cut isn't stuff that we choreographed. It's just us looking absolutely stupid. And doing dance moves that anybody can do.
I think it worked. I think it's very realistic. It's very good.
Yeah,
right.
I'm really happy with how it was cut. It was great.
I'm going to throw it open to the audience now of mainly, as I say, journalists. If they ask something stupid, just tell them. Don't worry about it. So we've got any questions from our esteemed audience? So we've got a mic somewhere. If you have any questions, we can hear what it's saying.
Is there only one mic?
Oh, there's my mic. Yeah, there we go. Who's first? Oh yeah, Andrew.
I have something which I'm supposed to know about. Taylor, now we're all here listening to, this is Andrew who you spoke to earlier on. You said to me that you think you could make Greg famous in Hollywood. Have you got a project that you think would work and turn him into an international superstar?
I'm not sure I fully heard the whole question, so I'll just pretend like I did. I've told Greg that I think he can be an action star over here in the States.
What the fuck?
I don't know if you've ever seen him run before, but it's like faster than light. And I think me and him need to team up and do an action comedy over here. I think it would be brilliant.
We'd like to see that.
We would love to see that.
We would love to see that.
Let's get this moving. Thanks, Andrew. Oh yeah, here we go. There's always there. Lady just.
It was announced a while back that there was going to be an American version of the show being made. Based on the differences between kind of British humour and American humour, can you see it being as successful as it was here?
Who wants to answer that? Greg, what do you think?
I've no idea how to answer that. I don't know. Does anyone else like that?
Do you know what's
I've got something to offer. I think Obviously, because British comedy is generally deemed as different from American comedy by British people, and American comedy being different by American point of view. So maybe if it's with the American humour, then the Americans will still love it, even though they would potentially love this as well, I'm sure. Well, I'm just saying, I think it could be as successful because they've got their own humour, and we've got our own humour.
Do you watch much British comedy? Have you watched much British comedy, Taylor?
To be honest, not a lot. And I don't like. It's difficult to come by here. But I certainly will figure out how to now. Oh, it's the internet, Ash. Thank you.
All questions though. Yes. Oh, passing the mic back. Just passing the mic back, Taylor. Don't worry.
Who's all up on the panel up there?
Question for Taylor. There's a kind of earthiness about this, which is probably quite British. Do you agree with that? What do you see as the kind of differences between US and American humour and comedy? And would you show this to your? What would your friends make of this?
I'm back.
Yeah.
Wrong button. I'll stop messing with that. Would I show this to like my friends and stuff?
What would they make of it?
Yeah, I already have. I've showed, some of my friends and family the first 2 episodes, and they just absolutely loved it. I mean, they're so excited to see the rest of the episodes, and so am I. I've only seen the first 2 as well. So yeah, no, everybody over here is so excited to see the rest of the series.
Thanks. Have you shown Kristen Stewart yet?
It's funny, somebody asked me that earlier. No, I haven't, but I've talked with her about it, so I'm excited to show her as soon as I can.
Thanks. Yes. Another question coming up.
Hi, a question for everybody. Can you tell us, or tell me rather, about the very groovy house you use as the basis for this comedy? Is it a real house? And did art mirror life in the sense that when you filmed the vomiting scene and the pooing scene, did any of the rooms in the house get damaged?
It's I'm allowed to say this, right?
Yes.
You are. No, it's a set.
Yeah, but it's a real outside. That amazing driveway.
And you're sitting on top of the house. That was a house. But the inside of that house bears no relation to our groovy house.
Am I right in thinking that we shot the vomiting sequence as the last scene of the shoot? Because it was just ruined. It was just ruined. But that refurbishment didn't actually happen.
We all spent the whole time in the house. Well, I certainly spent the whole time in the house thinking, I wish I lived here. I think it's really much nicer than my actual house.
A question for everyone. Well, sort of taking chronological order, really. When you sort of read through episode 1, then episode 2, and Greg, you see you have to have your balls played with by your best friend, and Tiger, then you sort of desecrate that bath. Did all the cast sort of sit there, Helen, Taylor? Did you think, oh man, what have I got coming up in episodes 3 onwards? Was there a certain fear about what you'd be asked to do or to display?
I was just really excited.
No, because
as was I.
we didn't see that on camera, I suppose.
well, once you get to 40 odd, nobody asks you to do anything like that anymore. You don't even kiss. No, it's revolting.
You and I have Helen and I have a lovely kissing scene.
Oh, we do actually. That's a bit revolting.
Taylor, do you have to do anything extreme in the rest of the series we haven't seen yet?
A lot of things actually.
Yeah, anything you can tantalise us with. What's the most fun scene to film?
Most fun. I would either say, honestly, there's like 50 scenes popping into my head right now. I had a lot of fun with the dance sequence. I had a lot of fun with a, I don't even think I can give too many details, but a fight sequence I have later on towards the end of the series, which is going to be absolutely hilarious. I had fun having Greg throw things into my mouth throughout the whole series.
What kind of things?
Greg, what kind of things did you throw into my mouth?
All manner of things, Taylor. Taylor has an amazing ability that you'll see in the series. I don't want to spoil it, but it's a real incredible talent. Now, I would have been doing it for a lot more of this show if I was in charge. It's endlessly entertaining, but you'll see it for yourself.
Wow, can't wait for that. Any more questions from the audience? Well, thank you. Let's wrap up this up. Thanks so much, Taylor. Sorry you couldn't see us.
I know. It's a bummer. I wish I could have seen all your beautiful faces, but at least I could hear you.
Thanks so much for joining us. Thank you, and it was a great show. Thanks for doing this.
See you, Taylor.
See you there, Taylor.
Thanks, Helen.